Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we're diving into a report from Avidity Biosciences, and let me tell you, it's a roller coaster of potential approvals and trial data. Is it all smooth sailing, or are there hidden rapids ahead? We'll break it down. The company is developing a drug called delpacibart brexlosiran, which they shorten to Delbrax for a muscle disease called facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy, FSHD for short. They are talking about a potential shortcut to getting it approved and new study results. Before we get started, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can talk about the analysis. This report is dated June 9, 2025. That's the date of the earliest event they are reporting. In this case, it refers to the announcements they made around that date. So first off, Avidity held an investor and analyst event to discuss some important feedback from the FDA, the US Food and Drug Administration. This feedback concerns the possibility of getting Delbrax approved faster than usual in the United States. This faster path is called accelerated approval. They also talked about starting a big phase 3 study that's forward, which is needed for full approval of the drug. They will also present some early data from the dose escalation part of its phase 1/2 Fortitude clinical trial of Delbrax in FSHD. They announced that the fast track for approval in the United States is open for Delbrax to treat FSHD. Additionally, they have begun their phase 3 forward study. Think of phase 3 as the final large-scale test before a drug can be fully approved. The FDA gave some very specific instructions on what they need to prove. This is regarding the measurement they are using to determine if the drug is working. It's called a surrogate biomarker. They need to validate this measurement properly to satisfy the FDA. Forward is a big study. It will last 18 months and involve around 200 people between 16 and 70 years old who have FSHD. They'll be testing a dose of 2 mg/K of Delbrax every 6 weeks. The study will happen at about 45 locations around the world, including the United States, Canada, Europe, and Japan. This trial will measure mobility, strength, and what patients themselves report about their health. This is designed to assess different measures and pick the best to become the primary endpoint. Currently, they are using QMT quantitative muscle testing as the primary endpoint. They also announced some positive data from the dose escalation cohorts of the Delbrax phase 1/2 Fortitude program in FSHD. In the initial dose escalation cohorts, 2 groups of participants were evaluated for 12 months. One group received 2 mg/K of Delbrax. The drug was given every 6 weeks for the first 3 months and then every 13 weeks after that. The patients on the drug showed consistent improvement of functional mobility and muscle strength. They used tests called 10-MWRT, TUDGE, and QMT to measure. They saw consistent improvement in how patients felt, measured by patient-reported outcomes. They saw rapid and significant reductions in levels of HDC1L and creatine kinase. Creatine kinase is a sign of muscle damage, and finally the treatment was favorable in terms of safety and how well patients tolerated it. Most side effects were mild or moderate. There were no serious or severe side effects related to the drug, and no one stopped taking it because of side effects. The most common side effects happening in more than 3 participants were fatigue and hemoglobin decrease. A decrease in hemoglobin could lead to feeling tired or weak. More data is coming. They are expecting top-line data from the ongoing Delbrax phase 1/2 Fortitude biomarker cohort in the second quarter of 2026. The primary goal of this cohort is to show a reduction in KHDC1L. Remember, KHDC1L is a biomarker. If all goes well, the company plans to submit a biologics license application. BLA to the FDA in the second half of 2026. A BLA is what they need to get accelerated approval of Delbrax. Now, it's worth keeping in mind this report contains forward-looking statements. This means the company is making predictions about the future. They caution us that these are based on current beliefs and expectations, and things might change. So while they hope to submit a BLA, things can always shift. Also included in this report is the slide presentation that was presented at the investor and analyst event. It could be a good resource if you want to dive into the subject more so so what's the big picture here? It looks like Avidity Biosciences is making progress in developing a treatment for FSHD. The FDA is willing to consider a faster approval route. The company needs to deliver on the promises and also have a successful phase 3 trial. The ongoing phase 1/2 trial shows some promising early results. On the strength side, if Delbrax gets approved, it could be a major breakthrough for people with FSHD. They are on track to submit their BLA in the second half of 2026. They have some promising data, and the FDA feedback looks like a positive sign. As for risks, developing drugs is always a gamble. The data may not be enough to support approval. The agency may change their minds. Also, unexpected side effects could pop up. It's a long road from here to approval, and it depends a lot on clinical trial data, so it's essential to follow those results. Alright, that's a breakdown of Avidity's latest filing. What's your take on these developments and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.